if they were brushing with fluoride-ridden toothpaste in lieu of changing the amount of sugar they added to their products, thereby reducing the harm of sugar. It's insane. I always wondered why fluoride was added to the municipal water supply and an ingredient in toothpaste. It seems that we have Big Sugar to thank for that. They don't want us to really understand how dangerous their product is. They don't want us to really understand the long-term effects physiologically and neurologically of sugar. They just want to keep putting that product into your processed foods and having you purchase it just because you want to sweeten your tea or coffee. And because of their wanting so badly to hide this fact from us, we have fluoride in our toothpaste. We have fluoride in our water. We have fluoride waiting for us at the dentist's office. In fact, some kids 20, 30 years ago were taking fluoride tablets in their classrooms as a preventative, and that was sanctioned by the school districts. Amazing stuff, folks. It's interesting when you finally figure out who's to blame, isn't it? It's amazing when you finally figure out the pathway, the evidence marking exactly who did what to you and when, how long. And it's liberating, isn't it? It is to me. I've always wondered why. Why fluoride in the water? It's a toxic byproduct of waste. Why would it be introduced? Well, just like with my program in poop, and those biosolid pellets that you bought probably this weekend to go put your garden together, this stuff needs to be recycled, and why not sell it? Why not sell it to the toothpaste companies, and they'll put it in their toothpaste, and we'll have dentists on board. We'll pay them if we have to. We'll send them on vacations if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to get them on board, because if we have science behind it, then it must be good for us. Oh, and we'll be able to sell it to the municipal water supplies and the state governments because it's good for us. Right, folks? We'll be right back.
To pay the rent, to pay our share. The time has come. A fact's a fact. It belongs to them. Let's give it back.
We are living in a new era. Partnerships are more important than profit, and gratitude is more respected than greed. As the millennial generation evolves the corporate landscape, our company aims to maximize the achievements of CBD application and push the limits of what's possible by 2020. Our core product matrix and careful cannabidiol purification process are uniquely designed to be privately made in different regions of the world and is geared to assist the efforts of different nations to change the landscape of various pain-related healthcare costs, epilepsy and autism, rising mental disorders, and even soldier suicides. Crystal Pure CBD is made with the industry's finest 99.9% pure CBD crystals. No paste, no filler. Our solution is a permanent answer, and it saves you over 1/3 in cost. Crystal Pure CBD. Come join us.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. You ever found out that what you thought was real turned out to actually be a plot by the U.S. government to frame its citizens to justify the war on terrorism? Has that ever happened to you? Well, guess what? You're not alone. The Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigations have admitted formally that nearly every examiner in the elite FBI forensic unit gave flawed testimony in almost all trials in which they offered evidence against the criminal defendants over more than a 2-decade period, beginning in 2000. but only after an assessment by the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and the Innocence Project reviewed the post-conviction evidence based on forensics. That's the only reason why the FBI came clean. The FBI Laboratory Microscopic Hair Comparison Unit has 26 examiners that admit to overstating forensic matches in ways that favored prosecutors in more than 95% of the 268 trials reviewed so far. Shockingly, 32 of those cases involved defendants sentenced to death. 14 of them were set up by the FBI and have already been executed. Peter Neufeld, a co-founder of the IP project, commented, quote, "The FBI's 3-decade use of microscopic hair analysis to incriminate defendants is a complete disaster. We need an exhaustive investigation that looks at how the FBI, state governments, and the like relied on these examiners trained by the FBI and the courts that allowed this to happen and why it wasn't stopped much sooner. The NACDL is working with the DOJ and the FBI to obtain more cases for review." Norman Reamer, the executive director of the NACDL, added, quote, "Hopefully this project establishes a precedent so that in future situations it will not take years to remedy the injustice. Because of this review, defendants and federal and state prosecutors in 46 states, including the District of Columbia," which is a separate thing, but we'll go over that another time, "are being notified to determine whether they are on grounds for appeals. To the public, the FBI and the DOJ have promised to reroute sources to address all cases and are, quote, committed to ensuring that affected defendants are notified of past errors and that justice is done in every instance," right? The biggest attorney in our country can't get it right, sure. "The department and the FBI are also committed to ensuring the accuracy of future hair analysis." Why weren't they committed to the accuracy of all hair analysis, like from the beginning of hair analysis in their departments? Why? For perspective, the FBI has been setting up Americans as potential terrorists for years. 5 years ago, the FBI set up a young man, impressionable, who was in Oregon, named Mohammed Hassan Muhammad, with the materials he needed to create an IED, and then encouraged him to attend a tree lighting ceremony at the Portland Pioneer Courthouse Square, where thousands of innocent people could be hurt. The FBI admitted that they had recruited Muhammad by email because they suspected he was involved with a terrorist activity in the past. This made him a good candidate to become another U.S. government patsy. He had the background, right? He had all the credentials. The FBI also alluded to the fact that they may be able to help Muhammad in faking another terrorist plot while they're trying to get him to commit the first terrorist plot, and to see if he was willing to travel to Pakistan to participate in a jihad. And in 2012, Qazi Mohammed Nafis, was recruited by an FBI agent in a manufactured bomb plot that later was prosecuted by Loretta Lynch, former U.S. attorney from the Eastern District of New York and current replacement for Eric Holder as U.S. Attorney General. Lynch explained, quote, "At the time, this case means that there is still a concerted effort by al-Qaeda to insert individuals into the U.S. who will carry out their plan to disrupt the economy and do great destruction and damage." Interesting, because it's not really freaking true. Nafis was set up to create this manufactured plot and blow up the New York Federal Reserve. The FBI said Nafis was obtaining a cybersecurity degree from Southeast Missouri State University on a student visa. But guess what? College records show Nafis never attended as a student to this college. So to set up Nafis, the FBI handler assigned him 1,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate and other materials to build an IED, an improvised explosive device. Under the watch of his handler, Nafis assembled the IED and then took him to an undisclosed warehouse in New York. The FBI handler said Nafis attempted to detonate the fake bomb at a hotel where he was taken up into custody. The infiltrating FBI agent brought Nafis to the warehouse in a van to begin with. Nafis allegedly told the agent that his first plan was to blow up the New York Fed, and if he was unable to do so, he had a plan B. After coercing from the federal agent, Nafis also produced a written statement of his intentions where he said that Osama bin Laden was the justification for his impending actions, because we know that former CIA agents and people that our CIA work with also happen to be terrorists, right? The FBI agent made sure to create a video where Nafis admitted to his plans. This recorded statement was to be shown to the American public after the attack. Nafis was recorded on tape saying he wanted to destroy America. The FBI was careful to set up the necessary evidence not only to incriminate Nafis as a patsy, but also to use evidence to create that link that they need between Al-Qaeda and the nation of India. In 2013, the FBI arrested Andrea Bowden, who allegedly planned to commit mass murder in a shooting spree at the Gateway Community College in New Haven, Connecticut. This claim was partially based on Bowden's Facebook page, where she posted a picture of herself and an antique pistol, right? Because she's going to go on a rampage with an antique pistol with only 6 bullets in the chamber, right? Pew, pew, pew. It's kind of like Yosemite Sam. Pew, pew, pew. Bowden's handler claimed that she made several text messages and verbal conversations with undercover agents discussing her bomb plot and intended to commit mass murder. The FBI stated that Bowden had guns and improvised explosive devices, yet when her home was searched, no evidence to validate their claims was found. And then there's the case of Matthew Aaron. He was set up by the FBI in a manufactured terrorist plot involving yet another IED. The entrapment scheme had Aaron, who had a history of mental illness. They were going to have him build an IED to detonate at a San Jose branch of the Bank of America. Officials claimed that Aaron wanted to start a civil war. This mentally retarded man wanted to start a civil war, right? He was aligning himself with anti-government militias, and that's the storyline. The creation of FBI patsies is nothing new. And it has caught the attention of the Human Rights Watch, who issued a report earlier this year, 2015, about the number of high-profile domestic terrorism plots that had direct involvement with government agents, showing how the U.S. government has a hand in creating circumstances that produce domestic terrorism, right? What do? They email the person. They get a hold of them on social media. They talk to them about stuff, see what they're into, see what they're willing to do. Then they meet with them, maybe hang out at the coffee shop, right? See what they are capable of doing face to face, if they're really willing to go through with it. And then the handler coaches them. The handler brings them all the tools, every piece of equipment that they might need, maybe even an instruction manual on how to build this IED, and brings a sheet of paper and a pencil, obviously, because they have to have a manifesto, maybe some recording equipment, like in Nafis's situation where he was videotaped by his handler as well as given the materials to write down his manifesto. And then all of a sudden they get to where they're going and it doesn't work. And boom! The FBI has foiled another terrorist plot. Oh, it's tied to Al-Qaeda. Oh, it's tied to Muslims. Oh, all Muslims are bad and all terrorists come from the Middle East. Anyone from the Middle East is bad. Do we remember what happened in this country after Pearl Harbor? The internment camps for the Japanese people, Japanese Americans. George Takei remembers being in the internment camp. So does Michio Kaku, physicist, remembers being in the internment camp. We did that not that long ago. What? Based on things that are not true, like we're seeing here today. Now, following the attack on 9/11 on the World Trade Center, informants, quote unquote, were involved or led a, quote, sting operation that could easily be construed as entrapment. The Human Rights Watch